Hi, welcome back to This Mama Loves, and I wanted to do a video on my weight loss journey and where I currently find myself at. Now, I mentioned in my last video about some tips I've learned along my uh, Weight Watchers journey, this current Weight Watchers journey that I'm on. But I wanted to just go more into the weight loss journey I've had or weight journey, whatever, I've had my entire life. So I've always been a plus size person from, I think, like maybe second or third grade on. I've always had issues with my weight. And I would say going into high school, um, and I've always had a self-image issue too. I've not been a very self-confident person in my looks or my abilities or whatever. It's just been an issue for me. And so once I reached high school, I developed an eating disorder. And that is, it actually is something that I struggle with to this day. Um, Sometimes I get bouts of it. Um, but when I was in high school and when I first developed this disorder, I dropped a lot of weight. And like everybody was just so proud and like they had no idea. And many in my life still don't know. Like my husband knows. I told him um, that I had this problem. They just knew that I dropped a lot of weight. And so I would say at my lowest weight, I was between 125 and 128, which for my height, and knowing for my height, I should actually weigh even less than that. I think for my height, because I'm 5 foot, nothing. Well, maybe a few centimeters, but for my height, I was supposed to weigh between 110 and 115. So even at my lowest weight, which at that time I think I was wearing like a size 8, um, even at my lowest weight, I saw myself as overweight. That mindset just didn't go away, even though I lost all this weight. I went from a size 14 to a size 8. And for a few years, I kind of maintained that weight back and forth between an 8 and a 10. And then over the years, I just started ballooning up. And I'd say maybe around 20, I decided to join a weight loss program. My best friend and I, we joined, what was it called? LA Fitness? LA Weight Loss? The LA Weight Loss. And you start off with a kind of like a cleanse weekend where you can't eat anything but eggs and steak. And it had, obviously you had portion size, eggs and steak, and drink nothing but water. And you do that for a weekend. And so it jump starts, I guess, like your metabolism, where over that weekend you lose over 5 pounds. Now, this program really pushed using their products, almost made it seem like you can't be successful on this program without buying our bars and all these other little things. And like I said in previous videos, I am a very picky eater. I am not a fan of a lot of these weight loss bars, protein bars. They had some that was like, okay, I could tolerate, but it just became very pricey. It was like I'm paying one for this weight loss, and now I gotta also pay to buy these bars every week. Um, that lasted for like 3 months. It lasted for like 3 months. And I honestly don't even remember how the program worked. I really don't remember. But it lasted for 3 months, and then I was done with it. I was over it. So I then, a little while later, I guess, I joined Weight Watchers online with my mom. That's back when they used to call them like e-tools. I don't know if they still call it e-tools. The website was way different than it is now. The website now is a lot more user-friendly than it was back then. Um, you had to input everything though. There wasn't any like an app or scanning, blah, blah, blah. You just input everything in. And I can't remember how it was set up then. I know you had your daily points, and I don't remember if they had weekly points at that point. I'm not sure. But you had your daily points, and then you had um, rollover points. You could have rollover points. I really don't remember if there was 0 point foods at that point, but I remember sticking with it for like a couple of months, and then I just kind of slowly tapered off. Now, when you buy your groceries and everything, at the time they had like this little calculator thing. There was like a sliding thing, which they don't, what they use now to calculate, they didn't use then to calculate your points. I can't remember what it was. I know it was calories. Um, I think fat. I think carbs. Maybe sodium, I can't remember, but it was calculated differently. But it was just such a hassle having to use this sliding thing um, to calculate points. And I don't know, I just kind of felt disinterested with all of the having to keep track of everything. So um, I stopped doing it. I fell off of that. And then like a few years later, I joined again. They still had the e-tools. My mom has started to do it too, and then we both just kind of fell off. And while on it, in the beginning, I would start off real strong. I would start off really sticking to the program, and then I would see some weight loss, and then I would stop using it. I just kind of became disenchanted with the idea, I guess. I don't know. Um, so I would say I've joined Weight Watchers a few times. When I started working at my last job, which I worked as a secretary in one of the departments at a university, they had Weight Watchers for employees, and it was meetings, and I think I did it 3 times for 3 terms, not necessarily consecutively either. Um, the last time I had to stop because I got pregnant with my youngest daughter, and I never went back. But at that point, I started off strong. Again, you didn't have the app or anything like that. They gave you all these books. They gave you a lot of manuals. One was like a restaurant guide. Um, one was like a shopping grocery list guide kind of thing, and I forget what the other one was. And um, I just didn't find it beneficial at the time, and maybe because I felt like I could not open up or really voice myself in the meetings because it was with coworkers, and I don't want them knowing whatever's going on in my head, whatever my issue is, blah blah blah. That's just how I was raised. So um, I don't know. I guess I didn't utilize the program as best as it could be. Also, I think the group leader we had, I just did not find her to be as motivating. So each time I would do it for like 1 term, and I wouldn't go back the following term. And then next year I would do it, but not the next term, blah, blah, blah. And each time I would lose some weight, not much, like maybe 5 or 10 pounds at the most. And then I would because then I would plateau. That was one of my big things. I would plateau. And when I plateaued, I would give up. I would feel like, I can't, this is not working. I'm over it. I'm done. Now, this current time that I'm on Weight Watchers, I think there's a few factors that are different. One, I am not doing a workshop with coworkers. Um, the workshop leader I have this time around, she's amazing. She's very motivating. She's hilarious. She's, I just love her group. Um, And I find that now it's a whole lot easier to do with having it on an app. I can just scan foods and things like that. And so I think that process, streamlining that process makes it a lot easier to work the program. Um, I do have weight gains sometimes, but it's not the program. That's another thing. I recognize that it's not the program, it's me. Whether it's me indulging in snacks I shouldn't, eating at wrong times, going over my points and just like meh. Um, all of that is me. It's not the program. Um, so these are all things that I have been working on over the course of this last year while working the program. This is also the longest I have been on any diet program. I think part of it is due to the fact that it doesn't feel like other diet programs where it's like, nope, you can't have this. You can only eat this type of food. And, they'll list like these foods and that's it. You can't have that. Nope, can't do it. And I feel like it's more workable. So I don't have a hard time. I don't have as much of a hard time sticking with it. There are a lot of days out of the week that I don't, um, let me rephrase that. There's a lot of days in a week that I actually stay within a blue point range. There are a couple of days a week that I ain't got that blue point. But I stayed within a blue point range. So I feel like I'm working the program better now than I was before. I could be in a different headspace. I'm a lot older now than I was then because now I'm in my early 40s, where then I was like in my early 20s. And over the course of the years, I just feel like I'm in a better place to be able to work the program. Along the way, I have picked up some things that work for me. So right now, one of the things that I am trying, and I've only done it twice so far, is sort of like an intermittent fasting. Um, I've had 2 meals a day. Now, interspersed with that, I've been eating fruit and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm starving myself. I would have a big breakfast. I would have a decent sized lunch, but I also put them later in the day. So my breakfast is now, these couple of times have been around 11:30. My lunch has been around 4 o'clock in the evening. Later in the day, if I'm still hungry, I'll have some fruit. So I guess you wouldn't really call it intermittent fasting, other than I'm breaking my fast later in the day. I'm having breakfast later in the day. But this is my second time doing it. Today is my second time doing it. So I was gonna have a late lunch, but I'm not gonna have the lunch. I'm just gonna have dinner instead. I had a late breakfast. Well, I didn't break my fast until actually it was almost 12 o'clock today. So I'm not hungry right now. And it's like something to 4, which I'm going to cut this short because I got to get my daughter from the bus stop in a few minutes, which is just like right around the corner. But so I don't feel like I'm starving myself or depriving myself. I'm going to see, once we head into the weekend, I probably won't be doing this. But I'm going to try another day. I don't know, maybe tomorrow or maybe Saturday, because Saturday tends to be my busiest day running errands and stuff. So really and truly, I don't break my fast until late in the day just because of time. Because when I get up, I don't eat breakfast because I get up, get ready, head to my meeting, and then we just run errands all day and do stuff. So sometimes I don't have my first meal until after 1 o'clock, sometimes after 2 o'clock. So it's kind of a normal thing for me on Saturday anyway. So I'm just going to see how this goes, where it takes me. So yeah, I guess that's like a little update. All right. So Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.